Hello, everybody. Welcome to this new flower moon in Taurus, and also it's a partial solar eclipse. That's a mouthful, right? So it means the sun and the moon are both in Taurus. It's a new moon and a partial solar eclipse, so not a full one. So there's change in the air. There's definitely change in the air, which is, it goes hand in hand anyway with spring. But, many people feel that spring is slow to arrive this year. Depends where you live. But there is like a lagging, dragging out kind of feeling about this winter, and then it's carrying on. So hopefully we're going to see, I'm hoping, that this eclipse is sort of our little launch into spring. And often we have to make decisions or let go of things, or things that set things in motion that we now have to react to. That's another way. But eclipses are definitely powerful events when they come, and they come usually a couple times a year, and they come sort of back to back. So it's a period of things being stimulated to change, and you're going to feel it probably for most of the month of May, because there's more than one eclipse. So let's dig in, first of all, to the chart of Johnny Depp and of Amber Heard, because it's everywhere. It's almost like we're watching a TV miniseries, but it's a trial. And it would be, I think, interesting to take a look at their charts and see what's being activated, especially with an eclipse, and possibly the verdict coming in and around this eclipse. I believe they finished the cross-examination today or yesterday. As I make this video, it's April 28th. I loosely watch it. I don't religiously watch it. So the cross-examination might be done. But there should be a verdict, ironically, right around this eclipse. So I thought, well, let's take a look at their charts as well as our eclipse and see. Again, turning points, surprises that can happen during eclipse. There could be, if you saw my other mini video about what I had visions of what I feel will happen with Johnny Depp. I just woke up one morning and I just had a flash. I heard a word and I had a flash of him being offered a new movie and of him winning an Oscar in his future for Best Actor. I don't know if it'll be the next movie he makes, but I see that happening in his life. And felt to me like not that far away. But so anyway, yeah, I mean, surprises happen with eclipses. Sometimes it's hard to know, like, do you sense something about like a shoe about to drop? Do you feel like you're waiting for something to happen? Are you waiting to launch or announce something of your own? For me, I'm pretty excited because my new book is out. Let me just show you. I just got my author's copies a couple of days ago. So my new book, Vibes from the Other Side, beautiful cover, I'm happy. It's people have been writing to me the last couple of days, they're getting notifications that their book will arrive around 3rd or 4th of May. And so for me, like that still fits within the eclipse window of April 30th. You give a few days here or there. And obviously I'm hoping that this turnaround or surprises or is coinciding with my book launch. That'd be cool. I'm expecting good things. I'll probably start making some videos where I will dig in to my book and I'll read from the book, and I'll go into different topics about mediumship and accessing your spirit guides, as it says, accessing your spirit guides and other beings from the beyond. So I'm going to talk a lot more about this in the future on my videos as well. So if you enjoy my free content and you'd like to support me, then I have a Patreon link below, and I have a basic membership. If you want to just give it for 1 month, if you want to sign on monthly, I'm happy. If it's a one-off, I'm happy. You know, any of that just helps support whatever future projects I might be able to do for you. And I also have a membership community that I have just designed, and it's still in the process of launching here, based on the book, based on my other book as well. It's called Sacred Vibes Community, and I'm going to be delving into a number of things that I consider important to create a meaningful life. And I'll be doing a lot of teaching as I do, you know, might share certain anecdotal things that were like important moments, or illustrate how certain symbolic things or synchronistic things were true and became meaningful. Moments when, you know, you trust your intuition, moments when you feel spirit guides around you, talking about maybe what different colors mean symbolically in different cultures, or angel numbers, you name it. It's going to be wide open to whatever type of sign or message or synchronistic event gives you a feeling that there's something greater, and that process is very sacred and meaningful to you. And if you're feeling lost and like you don't have that, then you might want to join the group so that you can become a part of that vibe and listen to what's being shared and meet other people sharing those types of stories too. It might help heal something or activate it for you. So again, the links in the links below will show you how to join my group, and also it's a Patreon link, and you'll see the options there. All righty, let's dig in to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and then we'll take a look at the general chart, the tarot, and then we will pull readings about what might be your eclipse event. Unless another theme pops up as I'm doing this analysis that seems stronger, then I think I'm just going to see what crops up for your eclipse. All right, so gotta get myself ready to share the screen again. So we'll start with Johnny, Mr. Depp. If I can blow that up. Nah. All right, the chart's going to look a little bit small when I share it, so bear with me. It's not tiny, but it's just not a full page. All right. So if you're able to see here, it's the chart of Johnny Depp. And he is born sorry, the info, I think it's June 9th. Yeah, oh, it's up here. He's born June 9th, 1963. So he's a Gemini, and he's the year of the rabbit. Now, Geminis are known to be, you know, very quick and clever, adaptable, chameleon-like. Do they have a double side to them? Yes, yes. The rabbit is interesting though, because the year of the rabbit hates conflict. Like of all the people to have to go through a public conflict, a public trial, and the level of you know, abuse in that relationship. For a rabbit, this is just destroying. Other signs, other years, they're like, bring it on, you know, fire-breathing dragons, bring it on, I'll fight you. But not rabbits. Rabbits go, try to avoid it. They try to go sideways. They try to be as pleasant and charming and maybe sometimes surface, Doesn't mean they're shallow. Some are, but doesn't mean they are. Johnny Depp's not a shallow man. But they keep things surface because they hate conflicts. They want, most of all, to network and meet people and get along with people. And they want things to flow and be peaceful and easy. And that's what the rabbit wants. And the Gemini just exaggerates that. However, he is born 8:44 a.m., which means between 6 and 8, let me see. Oh, it's between 5, 7, 7 and 9. Yeah, between 7 and 9 a.m., I believe is the dragon hour. Now, that sort of is like an ascendant, like a rising sign in your Chinese. You can all figure that out if you know what time you're born. I can help you, or maybe I'll do a video just on that one day. But between 7 and 9 a.m. is the hour of the dragon. And so he's got a dragon as his rising sign. And this is what we can definitely see in his characters and his charm. This is why we see this introverted man, this quiet, kind of slow-paced, introverted man. And then he just like, he's Captain Jack, you know, or he's Edward Scissorhands. Like, it, to me, it makes sense why he's good at playing these dramatic, bold characters. It's his rising sign. So he has it in him to present himself as more fierce. Alrighty, let's take a look at his chart now. So it's drawn different than the ones I usually use. All the planets are outside. So here you have the sun is in Gemini and his 11th house. So this is a guy that cares a lot about belonging to groups and communities. You'd have to succeed in Hollywood. And he has Leo as his rising sign. So we definitely see that, don't we? You know, the Gemini is like the chameleon, the multiple characters, the reinventing himself, and the Leo rising. You definitely see that in his Jack Sparrow or his Scissorhands, like the hair, you know, and the dramatic, the flair, this, you know, here I am, kind of extroverted. You know, this guy stands out. Leo rising, he is a definite celebrity quality to it. Now we go over here, he's got the moon in Capricorn. That's a tough one. And he has admitted that his mother was very difficult in these trials. His mother was abusive. Moon in Capricorn is often thought to be somebody that, you know, didn't receive a lot of nurturing. It's like sort of a cold and sort of controlled moon. So it would say that they didn't get a lot of, they could have been raised well and provided for, but they probably didn't get a lot of neglect, a lot of attentiveness or affection, or so that's definitely a liability for a man, because the moon in Capricorn is going to be projecting his emotional needs. We're looking for that in a woman, and it's going to be, he'll look for somebody definitely that's beautiful and presents herself in a more discreet, kind of classy way. He'll look for a woman with status, but he can also run the risk of being attracted to somebody who's just dominant and power tripping too. And, you know, around the time of his original deposition in Europe, or the accusation, I'd have to go back in the books, but 13 Capricorn. I mean, Pluto has been moving through Capricorn since 2008. You know, it's possible that this happened, the accusation, in and around the time that Pluto was touching the moon for him, which would have been a powerful thing to activate all of these mother issues and stimulate his emotional side in not a good way. You know, it would have been very difficult. So Then we'll come over here and take a look. He has Venus and Mercury in Taurus. Now this explains why he speaks more, you know, slow paced, calm, nice, smooth voice, charming, taking his time, pensive. This is very Taurus. Mercury and Venus together, 25 and 26 degrees. It's very, you know, it calms and slows down his chart. If he had his Mercury or Venus or something else in Gemini, blah, 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 he'd speak quick and fast, and we would be like, well, can't keep up with what he's just said. This probably helps make him feel much more grounded. However, look at this, that Mercury and Venus, if you can see, it's making a square, those red lines, to Mars, to Uranus. Yeah, it's also square his ascendant. So, you know, this is again, when planets square off with your rising sign, it means like, well, in one expression of yourself, you come across more like a Leo and another more like a Taurus. Depends who you're with, depends on the day. Integrating those can be a little more difficult. Well, this is not saying it's squaring his ascendant, but well, yeah, it's a little bit wide. Okay, so it's more that it's squaring off with Uranus and with Mars. So yeah, that can be a bit tough. Uranus together with Mars, okay, is not a great sign. It's somebody that could do very erratic or bold or irrational, impulsive things. Remember, we've said in other videos, Uranus is like a little eccentric sort of like weird lightning bolt that comes in and goes and then leaves. It's not always stimulated all the time. It could be, though, Uranus and Mars together. He might have like a very restless energy, despite this Mercury and Taurus that we see controlled and paced. He might, when you actually got to know him or live with him, he might just have like constant ants in his pants. Like he can't relax. He can't sit still. I would expect that with those planets. And it's pretty close to Pluto there too. So, not squaring it though, but I gotta say, like, the chart shows the capacity for an explosive, you know, to just explode, build up and blow. It's possible with this chart. The moon in Capricorn, though, is going to basically try to be keeping it all very controlled and measured, though. So let's see what aspects the moon. See, the moon is helping out his Uranus Mars. See the blue line? So again, like I would say for the most part, there's a lot of earth in this chart. He's mostly trying to keep his life calm and measured and under control. But there is this underlying kind of energy. I mean, maybe it's fulfilled through all the stuff he does, or, you know, traveling around or having so many social connections. He might keep it at bay, but I could see where if in the right or the wrong circumstances, or if provoked, he could have lashed. I mean, we saw him kicking cupboards and stuff. I personally saw that video a few times in the court. I didn't find him that scary. I mean, he's having a tantrum. It's not pleasant, but I didn't feel at any moment that she was in danger, that his temper wasn't getting completely unleashed and violent. You see him over and over in these court clips where she has been recording him and setting him up, basically. And he never gets in her face. He never threatens her, that I've heard. He doesn't come near her or, you know, push her or whatever. Like, she tries to insert that in these videos, but when she's actively trying to provoke him and record him, it's not how he reacts. It's this more trying to keep it calm and measured and trying to like remove himself so that he doesn't get that explosive moment, which shows a lot of self-control. So what's going on for him with this eclipse? Basically, Uranus it's not quite at 25 or 26 degrees to hit his Venus Mercury, but it's in and around it. And it's right here on his MC. It's not 3 degrees. It's somewhere in the middle right now, Uranus. It's somewhere around I'm sorry, I'm used to looking at a different chart format. A 10 was throwing me off. It's not 10 degrees, it's a 10th house. Uranus right now, I think, is at around 17, 18 degrees. So it's in between. It's in his house of career, and it's in his house of, you know, public reputation, the 10th house. And so with an eclipse and Uranus hitting right in his house of career and reputation, well, are we going to see a turnaround in how he's perceived? I would say yes. Now, what else is heavily going on is this cluster of Pisces planets that's pretty much passing through his 8th house. And possibly, I have to double check, some of them are hitting his part of fortune. Now, when we look at the other main chart, I'll refer back to this. 8 degrees Pisces is his part of fortune. That can be anything. We think, oh, fortune, it's got to be good, like a lottery. It might not. Like, part of fortune, it's sort of a destiny point, something that's meant to happen to you. And it's in his 8th house, which is talking about sex, death, and other people's money. Going through like a lawsuit, you know, talking about all of these mental health dynamics, talking about drug abuse, all the taboos, that's very 8th house. And it's all coming out to be exposed. And there's a few planets all in and around that house right now, emphasizing that aspect. Like, this is really dragging him through the most painful stuff of his that you can talk about, that you can, you know, I think he was crying on the stand at one point when they were playing back footage of him feeling suicidal, and she's recording it. I just find that disgusting, to record somebody when they're in that state of mind. So he's really being raked through the coals here, and he's managing to hold himself very well because he's a sensitive rabbit with a lot of trauma, and he's managing himself extremely well, I feel. But does he have the capacity to have a temper tantrum? Could he have done something erratic or destructive that we haven't seen? Yes, he could have, because it's in his chart that there is a build up and blow aspect. But from what I saw, it feels to me it would take him a lot. But we also saw her behavior, and maybe she was the one that pushed him there. We don't, you know. I'm only going by what I've seen on the trial and what I'm seeing in the chart. You know, we weren't there. None of us were there. No, nobody in the court. They're the only two people that were in that room treating each other that way. You know, they know the truth of it. And it's pretty hard for any of us to really know. So now let's take a look at Amber Heard's chart by comparison here. Sorry, 1 second. The computer's a bit slow. I think I have too many pages open at once or something. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, so now Amber Heard. She's born April 22nd, 1986. So that's really sucks. She's in this major trial of her life on her birthday. So she's a Taurus, 2 degrees Taurus, you see? So she's already had Uranus hitting her sun. Again, that's going back many years. I don't have an ephemeris on hand. I should do these things in advance, sorry. It would be very interesting though, if we turn back the clock and those planets that were hitting Johnny, the Pluto activating his moon, could be coinciding around the same time that Uranus was hitting her sun, because Uranus went into Taurus in 2018, and I believe that's when she had filed for everything. And what does Uranus do? Again, it brings an erratic or a bold action or an impulsive action. Beyond that, we can't say is it right or wrong or good or bad, but it brings an enormous restlessness to do something. So it's possible. Now, she also has Libra as her rising sign, but let's first go into the Chinese astrology here. It's not giving a time of birth, huh? Well, she's born in 1986. Her time is unknown, so we can't do her rising. But she is a tiger. This is the tiger year, and she's going in this major trial in her own year. It's to me, that's for her, that's epic. Some sort of major change or major closure going on. And, spotlights on her for this. It's very difficult. And how would you imagine a tiger and a rabbit get along in nature? Right? The tiger will eat the rabbit for lunch. Tigers love a challenge. They love to get into it and pick and push and fight and rebel. They love it. Rabbit hates it. It's too bad we don't know her other time to know her rising sign. All right, let's take a look down at her chart now and see what we can see. So we can't say by house or by rising, but let's take a look. So here we've got her Taurus sign, sun, and she's got her north node right on the sun. That's interesting. And it's opposite Pluto. Sun opposite Pluto. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, the sun opposite Pluto, as you can hear from my reaction, is very difficult. Very difficult. Her life would be full of power battles with people. And they won't always be her fault. There will be people that elicited power struggles with her probably as a kid. She might be the one instigating. She might be the bully. She might be the bullied. Pluto opposite the sun also can sometimes talk about the father. There could have been a very difficult or overbearing or possibly abusive father around her life. That's really not an easy thing to live. Also, though, it would definitely make her very magnetic, which she definitely has. Now look at this. She also has Venus and Taurus at the same degree as him. They both have Venus at 25 Taurus. So this is an enormous compatibility. Imagine you both have Venus, you both have the same desires and tastes and wants to the exact same degree. They probably felt like, oh my God, I can't believe how well we fit. Can't believe how much we both like in common. And being celebrities, that would be a big deal for the way they style themselves, the way they carry themselves when they're out, their public image, their tastes, how they present themselves as a couple. It would be very aligned. That's pretty rare. Now, she's also got Lilith, this asteroid Lilith, which is like the dark moon with Venus. So that's a very sort of sultry, seductress kind of vibe there. Could it become, you know, manipulative? Yeah, sure. Using your sexuality to manipulate with Venus and Lilith. Oh, yeah. And it's in Taurus, so it's very, very possible that it's used, you know, in a material sense, meaning like getting your physical needs or your financial needs met. Very interesting. Now, you look over here, she's got the moon in Libra. Now that's where it sort of throws a monkey wrench, because the moon in Libra needs to please everybody. No matter how much of a bully side we might see, power side or seductress side, this is a woman who wants to please everyone. She wants peace. She wants people to get along. She wants people to listen and understand. She's got, you know, moon in Libra is sort of in love with love, very idealistic about love, cares a lot about beauty. Oh my goodness. She's probably like this whole thing trial about her makeup. Well, it makes sense to me now. Like this would be somebody very, very concerned with her looks and her products, and makes complete sense. Now, the moon in Libra is squaring off with the moon in Capricorn that he has. So they have similar wants, very similar wants. But the moon signs, they have opposite or conflicting needs. Deep down, if you really want to look deeply at compatibility for yourself and other people, you look at the moon signs. Because when we all relax our guard and we live with people, or you get to know people over time and the honeymoon phase is over and you're not as charming, the moon shows up. Your basic core emotional needs, your subconscious side, the program that's running in the background that's harder for people to express or say, that's what plays out. And so when you got people with conflicting moons, what you need and what I need are very different. Well, now you have a real recipe for fighting, for difficulty. There can be other things in the chart that help make it easier to get along, but that would be a constant challenge for a couple. And she's got her moon opposite Mercury. You see the red lines, and she's got her moon square Mars and Neptune. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So the moon opposite Mercury, well, the way she talks is the opposite of how she actually feels. What she says comes across opposite to what she needs. Mercury in Aries is going to be, you know, spit it out, call it like it is. Could be funny, could be very direct, blunt in good ways, funny ways, or nasty ways. And the moon in Libra would just like, she probably says something and then the next minute it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. What if they get mad at me? What if they don't like what I did? What if I said the wrong thing? Oh my God. And you want to retract because the Mercury in Aries just probably reacted and said, stop it. And then moon Libra is going, oh my God, oh no, that's not very nice. I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God, there's going to be repercussions. What will people think of me? Oh no, you know, and she's going to be torn a lot with that one. So I would imagine from this that she probably has a lot of regrets of some of the things she's done and said, but she seems to be presenting a face and standing by it. And who knows whether that's her doing that or whether that's her lawyers telling her to do that. But I've seen a lot of distress on her face. We've all seen it in court. She's trying desperately to keep herself together, looking, you know, looking confident, looking like, no, I have it all together. I'm just making my notes. But she looks like she's about to burst into tears a lot of the time, or burst into anger, either one. Now, she's also got the moon squaring Mars and Neptune, and I just went oy oy because that's a very manipulative aspect. If you're not conscious of that energy in your chart, it is hell, because what's going to happen is Mars is in, and Neptune are in Capricorn. So she wants that status, that power, right? And that connects to Johnny's moon. Not a healthy aspect either. Mars and Neptune can conjunct someone's moon. Again, very manipulative, deceptive. And at first it could be like in the glamorous way, like, oh my God, this is like too good to be true. Wow, who is this person? You're floating. Everything's like gorgeous. And then Mars and Neptune is very indirect, very subtle. Very psychological manipulation is possible with that combo. And it's squaring her moon. And so, sorry to say, but this lady is capable of a high level of deception if she's not conscious to work on those energies and she would have to be ultra honest and transparent with people and have extremely healthy boundaries to avoid this sort of almost intuitive deception that she's capable of. Eek, that's all I can say. Now, what's happening for her as far as the transits go? The eclipse is, as I said, going to happen around 10 degrees Taurus down here. And Uranus is at around 17. It's not hitting Venus and Lilith, and it's not hitting his Venus Mercury. It's going to be very interesting to see. The case will have some sort of backlash or a part 2 or an appeal, or it's not done. Uranus is going to hit these planets too hard, and they both have it together. But it's going to take could take another year or two. But I'm going to say this isn't over. For now, though, the eclipse is pretty close to her sun. I wouldn't if an eclipse fell on my sun, I would expect to feel a bit of an identity crisis. Maybe I feel like, maybe I feel like I'm a failure. Maybe I feel like people don't see me for who I am, or I'm really struggling to know, like, what do I want? Well, who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? I would expect an identity crisis with that aspect. And, it's a little bit wide to be saying that it's hitting the North Node as well, so we won't go there. But, and where are all these Pisces planets we mentioned in her chart? Well, she's got Jupiter in Pisces natally, so Jupiter's been helping her out this year, being in Pisces. She's getting a boost. All those planets, we can't say because I don't know what house it's in. But it's helping her Jupiter, which helps give her, some sort of compassion or luck on her side. I really hope that this trial sheds light on Hollywood relationships. It sort of demystifies the glamour of a lot of it. I hope that the trial brings up more realistic conversations about mental health and addiction. And I hope the trial brings to light that women can victimize, men can victimize. It's nothing to do with gender, it's to do with behavior. So hopefully all of these Pisces planets in the air will give people a little more compassion for both of them. But when Uranus is around and an eclipse in Taurus, well, might be a bit tough. So that's what I'm calling it for this trial. I see some sort of turn of the tables in Johnny's favor, and seems to me online that's making sense. People are there's so many people pouring love to Johnny Depp right now, and the opposite to Amber. And the psychologist that testified about her diagnosis was very strong, very convincing, and very clear and informative. And I have a feeling this is going to be enough to sway a jury. Now, apparently she's already going to counter appeal. So we'll see what comes next. It's like, it'd be nice for them if it's over, but I don't think it's over. All right, let's move to the chart for us all now. I thought people might find this one part interesting. All right, let's just take a general look at what's in the sky for us all. There we go. I'm enjoying doing these celebrity breakdowns, by the way, celebrities and politicians. If it helps teach astrology through relevant things that we're all hearing about, if you pick up on a detail of their chart and now you watch the news with new eyes, I feel like I've done my job. It's an amazing tool of self-understanding, astrology. So, all right, here's our general chart. Done for the Eastern time zone as usual. So we've got Taurus moon, Taurus sun, 10 degrees. Uranus is at 14. Okay, I said 17, it's 14. And we said we would come back to this 8 degrees Pisces thing with Johnny. So there we go. We've got Mars at 11 degrees Pisces. So Mars has already passed over his part of fortune. Whatever destiny, whatever fated thing was supposed to come out, it probably came out in the last couple of weeks because Mars just moved in there. So over the course of the trial, whatever came out, he's had his moment of destiny. That's interesting then. So we've got this cluster in the 8th house, Moon, Sun, Uranus, North Node, and almost Mercury, but it's in the 9th. 4 planets, 4 things in the 8th house in Taurus. It's really heavily Taurus, really heavy. I can tell you firsthand about, Taurus in the 8th house because I have it in my chart. So it means there's a lot of introspection about the taboo things of life. As we mentioned, 8th house is sex, death, and other people's money. When you see Moon Uranus, oh my God, like anything could happen financially during an eclipse like this. I would expect from this chart to see something in financial news on a global scale. Right now, with what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, this could hit anybody pretty dramatically with any kind of financial announcement. The latest news I saw was just yesterday. I don't watch every single day because I can't absorb that much pain. I couldn't do it. So I dip in and I keep up with it, but then I take a break. But the latest I saw was that Germany was stepping up and offering aid, and I believe military aid, tanks, I think, to the Ukraine. Russia announced that they were cutting off oil supply to Poland and I believe one other country. The US is talking, I think, about even steeper sanctions against Russia. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw something dramatic happening on that scale of sanctions, financial, I hate to say, but downturns or like probably bad surprises in this case, on a global stage, and then how that's affecting everyone else. And obviously it's in the house of sex and death. Well, could we see somewhere in the news a sex scandal? Good possibility. I can't say from where or from who, but I'm keeping my eyes open for that. Can we see secrets coming to light? Like dark, nasty secrets? Yeah. Yeah. The North Node is there. This is the direction we're pulled in. It's shedding light. Will we see financial scandals revealed in some place? Companies or countries? Yes. Yes. On a personal note, what would I expect with this? Well, you would look where's Taurus in your own chart? All these planets are hitting that particular house in your chart. So you'd want to see, where is this cluster happening? What planets is it connecting with of yours? Because it's like, you know, when things are in Taurus and their earth sign, they're pretty heavy-handed in a way, in the sense that they're tangible, they're material. Things will play out in your physical body, in your house, in your finances, like things that are obvious that you can see. It's not happening in your mind. It's not happening just in your emotions. It's physical reality. So I would expect with this cluster of planets in Taurus that, you know, maybe you're going to feel this eclipse, or these you know, announcements or changes on the news. You're going to feel it physically. Maybe, hopefully we won't see it as a shortage on the grocery store shelves, but you know, we might see like delays, further delays in stuff we're expecting or counting on. Some people, it's going to be a positive surprise. The moon, Uranus and Sun and North Node in Taurus could be a windfall, could be like sudden influx of cash. That's the thing with Uranus. It's like, now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now it's here, now it isn't. Oh, we suddenly cut you a check. Somebody suddenly gifted you something. That's possible too. I've already heard it from one friend. Sudden gift out of nowhere. Did not expect it. That's the thing with Uranus. You'll say, I had no idea. And you didn't, and you couldn't have seen it coming. So just be prepared for some juggling going on, whether it's global and you're affected, or whether it's directly to you. So the rising sign for this chart is Libra. What do we just say about Libras? You know, Libra wants peace. It wants to negotiate peace. It wants to bring a diplomatic solution. It wants to stay in the, you know, the side of life that's beautiful and harmonious. So there's no planets in Libra to pull us there, but the outward appearance, no matter what's going on with these nasty secrets or these huge changes that are happening, you're going to be keeping things pleasant on the outside. So is that helpful? Yeah, it can be. It can minimize further chaos or conflict, but it can also be sometimes like whitewashing things that could be relevant, could be good if they came up. So it's not strong enough, this rising sign, to say there's nothing aspecting it. There's no lines. So it's just a general thing. You might see people putting on a pleasant face or saying, no, I'm fine, but no, under the surface, there's a lot going on. So let's take a look at these aspects, because as you see, we've got these red lines to Saturn. So Saturn is squaring off with Sun, Uranus, the North Node, and Mercury. Saturn is in Aquarius, you know, two fixed signs, stubbornness. Honestly, I'm getting a feeling more that this is like undercurrents of conflict versus overt, but because we're seeing a war in the Ukraine, well, in their case, something might be, again, an overt kind of standoff kind of feeling. But in our own lives, I'm not getting a feeling of that. I feel like you might be more aware of who you agree with and don't agree with. You might be more conscious or confident of your position on things than you have been in a while. Doesn't mean you're going to go out and do anything about it or fight about it. So, I mean, obviously some will, but some won't. We've got all these Pisces planets. That's what sort of gives it like a, oh, whatever, I'll just accept it, or whatever, I'll just do my thing, or oh well, they're just being them. I'll just avoid and stay away, I'll just do my own stuff. Pisces just doesn't want to get into conflicts. They'd rather like accept the situation and have their gut feeling about it, but carry on with life. Or they'll be like, well, just pray for people, but it's not getting into a fight. So there's so much Pisces here. Look at this, Mars, Neptune, Venus, Jupiter, 4 planets. So this predominant energy and all these blue lines, like it's all harmonious with the sun and the moon and Uranus. It's like, so even though there's an awful lot, probably feels like it's changing inside you, there's also this feeling of like wanting things to just be a little more chill and peaceful, and like, let's just escape a little bit. Let's just accept things and relax. Like, I don't want to break my head anymore. I'm tired, right? So this is the predominant feeling. And then with the Libra rising, well, that also just doesn't want to fight. Everybody's exhausted of this. So unless you're in a position where something surprises you and comes along and puts you in that position where you feel like that Saturn is, kicking off and you must put your foot down or you must fight, you're not going to want to. You're going to be like, okay, stage left here. I don't want to do it. So it's funny because it's got like a sort of calm, peaceful feeling to it. It's got the potential for a standoff. It's got potential for surprises, but it's also in a house that usually doesn't talk about taboos and surprises. So if it blows, like I said, it could be like sanctions or scandal, But if it's your own life, it's unlikely that would happen. So what happens is like it's internal, like, oh, you maybe have sudden flashbacks or memories to things that you haven't revisited in a long time, or you might have feelings or thoughts that you feel are like too deep to share or dark to share. But Pisces, all of those Pisces planets, especially in the 6th house, which is like service and health, it's a great time to reach out for help and talk if you need to. It's there's a nice feeling of, like I said, acceptance and compassion that's in the air as well at the same time. Otherwise, this chart doesn't feel terribly dramatic. I find it hard to predict. The something will erupt, because it always does around an eclipse. But in general, I feel like it's sort of a fizzle kind of feeling. Pisces planets and Libra rising, and as you can see, there's really like no fire in this chart that would cause destructive temper, rage, burning, whatever. Things are happening in earth and water. Pretty chill and internal. So anyway, you'll have to message me and let me know how things turned out for you. All right, let's take a look at the tarot now and see if it adds to our insights for this solar eclipse, new moon. All right, so we're cutting them in 3. I'm going to light my sage and cedar and stuff, just because I like to. Just imagine this sage and cedar and juniper is shielding and surrounding you in light, protection, removing anything in, on, and around you. It's been heavy this winter. Let's try to lighten things up around us for spring. And our first card is very nice. 2 of Swords, Moon in Libra. What did we just say about the Moon in Libra? So people want to make decisions, and they want to be diplomatic, and they want to negotiate and mediate and be peaceful and be fair. You might find yourself in good conversations with people, making peace where there wasn't, opening the conversation where it was blocked before. You might make amends. You might apologize. Someone might apologize to you. It's a nice light feeling. It's a nice will to have peace. You know, the card says peace on it as well. So that's a nice starting place. Then we have the King of Cups. So you've got a, you know, more sentimental, emotional, fatherly, attentive, affectionate kind of man who's sometimes living in his memories or his emotions or his past a bit too much. But otherwise, he's like the ideal guy. I like the King of Cups the best. When I see him, it's like, yeah, you could marry this guy. He's safe. He's lovely. So this is 2 nice cards. Hopefully you have someone like that around you or coming into your life. We've got the 8 of Pentacles, which says prudence. And this is like slow, prodigious growth. Think about, you know, planting a seed and watering it slowly and letting it grow bit by bit. And you can see the stalk is strong and the flowers are healthy. The flowers are all protected. Everything's all in a row. This is a Sun in Virgo card. So this to me tells me, like, just get your own ducks in a row. Is it time to spring clean? Is it time to budget? Is it time to reorganize the pantry? Is it time to go over something in your work or your business and just go through your emails, dump out stuff, unsubscribe to stuff you don't read? You know, it's like, and also like things that you want to put in place that you want. If you've got new projects right now, or you're thinking of, oh, I want to do that, well, do it slow and steady. These cards are all very peaceful, chill, slow and steady, take her easy. There's nothing about rush. Now we've got the 10 of Cups, which is, I believe, is it Mercury? Mars and Pisces, yeah. So this is like overload, overwhelm, mental fog, feeling numbed out, feeling burnt out. It's a Pisces card. All those planets in Pisces can definitely make you feel like, sometimes Pisces, you know, you take in so much energy from the collective. You're just absorbing everything from everyone in the world and the people around you. And you try to process it all, and it's too much. You can't break it down and process it. So you feel like overwhelmed or tired or spaced out, or you just go, oh, screw it, I can't figure it out. And then that, ironically, sometimes is what leads to using the intuitive faculties, because you can't break it down like Virgo card just did. There's too much. And so instead of like numbing out and drinking your face off or whatever, instead what you do is you just go, okay, there's too much itemized info. I can't process it all. So in that case, what is the higher truth? What's the feeling I'm getting? What's the vibe I'm getting? What's my gut say to do? So if you find yourself overwhelmed and in brain fog, instead of spacing out and running, try to say, what is my gut feeling on this, instead of analyzing it. What am I getting a dream message from it? Do I want to consult another person like me who's intuitive to get the pulse of it, instead of breaking down all the nitty-gritty details, because it's too much right now. We've got the Fool. That's nice for spring. Excuse me. So good. Licorice. All right. So the Fool card for spring, that's awesome, because it's a new beginning, like spring. So from the fog and the overwhelm, we go to the vision, the visionary, the dreamer, realizer. The Fool is only a fool if he doesn't have a vision. If he just goes, oh, it'll work out, you know, didn't think it through. It's not about being like you know, anal and making like some detailed crazy plans. No, the Fool has trust. The Fool has such a strong vision that he wants to manifest. And the core feeling or core details of this vision are clear. The details will come, like the minutia will come later, but he's very clear. Like, my vision is I want to do more art in my life, and I want a studio, and I want to connect with other artists and work in groups, just working on my art again. Like, that's a very clear vision that I would put out there. That's one of mine. But that's not saying, oh, well, where am I going to rent a space? Oh, but I don't have it right now. And oh, but I can't find. And then and there's this place down the road, and oh, and this is going to cost. No, that's not the energy. That kills it. That kills it. The thing you need right now, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or burnt out, is you need the visionary side. This is what I would like. This is the feeling I want. This is how I sort of see it happening. And I'm clear enough. I'm going to go make that happen somehow. So that's what the Fool's asking. Then you got the 10 of Wands. So you're going to be tested in your vision. You might just get, oh, I want that art studio so bad. I can totally see it. Oppression card. Well, to me, that doesn't mean, oh, well, it's not going to work. You're going to come up against this hellfire of this card, or obstacles. To me, this is more that you've got to break free from your own inner oppression, from whatever you let stop you all the time. So that can be fears, insecurities, or staying in the minutia instead of the faith of something. So don't get discouraged if you run into this wall as soon as you feel excited about your vision, and then you get a wave or a wall of fear or resistance. You've got to work through it. It's internal. It's internal. And oh my goodness, we've got the interference card as well. It's the same thing. Geez, it feels to me like you're gonna start something new, and then your mind is just gonna go, like you're terrified, and you're gonna start to shut it down with a million reasons why you can't or shouldn't do or get what you want. And you've got to work through it. You've got to break it down with your probably with a good friend, family member, or a counselor, intuitive. I don't like whoever you feel good with. You've got to bust through this wall, because this one is almost worse than the oppression. This is like when you just get stuck in your head, endlessly analyzing, and nothing is happening. Like the Fool card can easily lead to that. You've got a dream, and then you can be sort of endlessly planning it instead of doing it. And then you'll get stuck in your head. Do not let yourself get stuck in your head. This is a really strong theme in this moon. My gosh. Okay. Oh my. Now we have the Hermit. So the Hermit card is good, but it means you're going to need to keep these ideas close to the chest, maybe even private to yourself, without, a trusted person. But the Hermit, you can see that he's got that light on him and in front of him, but he still needs to cocoon. He still needs privacy and time and rest, and he needs to ponder and process before he's ready to probably act on it. Or it could mean that your vision requires that you pull back from society somehow. Like, let's say your goal, your dream was, again, my examples, but you want to write another book. If you want to write a book, or if you want to build a business or something, you might need to pull back from your socializing and from your presence online or your availability, because it's going to take enormous energy for that dream to manifest. You might need some time alone. Otherwise, what that would signify, if you choose the other route and you start to let fear block you and you start to analyze and overanalyze, you could hermit in the bad sense, where you could isolate yourself, and it'll be harder for you to do anything. You'll have to pull yourself out of the cave. And finally, we have the Devil. Oh, gosh. Well, the devil's going to test you and tempt you while you're in the cave, while you're in that space alone, creating or dreaming, scheming, planning, cocooning, whether you're avoiding your dream or whether you're doing it to manifest your dream. The devil will come along like, ooh, how about that? How about this? What about that time you know, and it's going to torment you a little bit. The devil is a test. It's always a test, and a test of your strong desires, your lusts for life, or for, this means maybe greed comes into your vision. You'll be tested. Maybe your ego comes into your vision. You'll be tested. You know, maybe your old demons come up, and you're afraid to go forward, and that represents the demons you've got to face. So I'm going to pull one more card, not leave it off on the devil. Okay, so the last two cards I'm going to give you as a resolution to the devil is Five of Cups, disappointment, and Six of Swords, science. So this is important. It's in a Scorpio card, emotional card, Mars and Scorpio. You've got to release any form of disappointment and betrayal that you've lived in the past. Anybody that treated you wrong, anytime somebody came and crapped on your idea, when you had another vision in the past and you were excited, and then people came along and poured rain on it, or they showed you a side of them and suddenly they went from, you know, being a friend to not being a friend, or supporter to being, oh, I thought, you know, you got to dig. It could be currently around you when you talk about your new dream or your new vision, but it could be coming up from the past to process it. And the Six of Swords is where we leave off, and that is science. That is Mercury in Aquarius, detached, very cool, very rational, logical. And you see all the little details and minutia here. This is surgical, this kind of card. What that means is that you're going to need to let your emotions come up and let your fears come up and talk to somebody or write it down. And then you're going to have to go back and really work on detaching and having a new paradigm, a new paradigm. Yeah. So that you can manifest what you want, so that you can bring your vision into play. You're probably going to be challenged to let go of a lot of things. As they say, you have to, if you want a new life, you have to sacrifice your old one. And you have to let go of, oh my God, this is how I saw myself, or this is what I thought was possible, but now I see that there's more. This is how I thought people perceived me, but no, they don't. But there's always new ways, new people. So there's a lot of working through your deeper emotions and getting to a vision and getting to a more detached way of looking at things, more egalitarian way of looking at things. You've got to see yourself and your life with new eyes. Wow, that'd be beautiful if that happens to a lot of us during this eclipse. Seeing yourself and your life with new, fresh eyes. I like that. All right, so let's just see what comes up for your eclipse. What might you expect? What event, internal or external things? What of these themes applies to who? All right, let's go for it. So, Aries. What is your eclipse about, Aries? Six of Cups. Pleasure. So that is the 8th house, sex, death, and other people's money. Scorpio. Pleasures. Okay. So it feels to me like your eclipse might be pretty good. Feels to me like an increase in pleasures. The only thing you got to watch for then is excess. Too much pleasure leads to craving, or leads to greed and craving. And when if something's feeling great and finally it feels so good and you don't want it to end, and then the energy always shifts. There's always like a peak with pleasure, and then it's sort of, and the Buddhist, meditation would teach us, philosophy, like, you're allowed to feel pleasure, but when it wanes, you let it wane, you let it go. You enjoyed it, it's temporary, and now it's gone. But what we tend to do as humans is like, oh, I don't want it to end. I want it to stay. And then we start adding other behaviors or substances, and we try to extend the good feeling, but deep down, part of us knows that's not real. We're faking it, we're forcing it. So I would say you're going to enjoy some pleasures this eclipse. Just allow them to come and go. Just don't start clinging to them, and you'll probably have a great one. All right, Taurus, it's happening in your sign. So let's see. What's your eclipse about, Taurus? Oh, nice. Abundance. That's nice. Well, I mean, I can't predict this for every single Taurus on the planet here, but the cards and the planets would say that you might experience the good side of this, the windfall side, the abundance. And abundance isn't always, oh, I won the lottery, okay? Or, oh, somebody cut me a check or gave me a bonus, or I got a tax return, extra money, or yeah, some of you might have that, but this is an emotional abundance. You might suddenly realize that you've got great friends and support around you. Events that happen might catalyze you to realize that you've got a wealth of help, or that you've got a lot of comfort in your life, or your belly is full. You've got abundance on lots of levels, and it's on an emotional satisfaction kind of level with Cancer. You're feeling like maybe you can open your heart, open the floodgates, talk to people. You feel more intimacy. You feel more abundance is a feeling, more than how much stuff you have, or what your bank account is like, or whether you have a car or not. Abundance is deeper than that. So it looks to me like this is the end result of your eclipse, which is lovely. Gemini, what can you expect this eclipse? Well, there's the wall. Oppression, the Gemini. So for you, again, like what I just said about this card is like, take a look for any kind of internal old triggers, old pain, old feelings of being blocked or suppressed or kept down. I don't feel like it's current. I mean, Johnny Depp is a Gemini, and this would be his card. So what would we say? Does he seem to be oppressed? Doesn't seem like it. Is he bringing out into the open and dealing with old forms of oppression? Oh yeah. He's just one example, but you might be going through it too. So just try to process anything old that's coming up so that you release it. Cancer, what's your eclipse going to be about? Oh, that's nice. 2 of Cups. Love. Well, with all that Pisces in the air, that's supporting you, Cancer. 4 planets in Pisces. It's a great time to meet somebody or connect or bond in love. And if it's not romance, it can also be, a great friendship, alignment with partnerships, just feeling loved in general. But this is usually like the couple. This is more like the Lover's card than the Lover's card. So if you are looking for love, well, it's in the air. And if you haven't met somebody, well, you can just keep affirming that you are ready and you are open to love. That helps to, that can be the vision, and it helps to bring it to you. Otherwise, there's probably an increase of closeness and intimacy with your friends or your family, and even with yourself. So I think you're more on the nice little Pisces side of the eclipse. So that's lovely. I think you'll have a nice time. Leos, what's coming for you this eclipse? Oh, well, that is nice. You get the money card here. You get the wealth card. This is usually the card of cash coming in. Can be any form, can be anything from an inheritance, hopefully not that if that's sad. It can be cash back on something. It could be that you're approved for a loan, or somebody offers to assist you if you're going to take a new course, like the money's there, but this is like a chunk of money and it shows up, or you have access to it. So for you, it seems like it's the Taurus surprise money windfall side of it. It could also mean that you lay down a chunk of money for something that you want. Maybe your vision is requiring you to invest. But either way, it feels to me you've got access to those funds to get your vision rolling. So that's brilliant. Virgos, what is coming for you this eclipse? You've got our King of Cups. So keep your eye out for somebody with those qualities. Like I said, somebody very caring, usually a water sign, sensitive, creative, emotional, open, affectionate, good father figure, good counselor. This might be somebody who walks into your life, could be romantically, could be as a friend, could be as a new therapist, could be a new customer. But there's a very nice, supportive, warm feeling about this person. So try to just identify who that might be and allow them in your life. So that's a very nice, positive eclipse thing. All right. Libras, what is up for you? Well, Libra, your eclipse is about the High Priestess. Have you been tuning in to your dreams and your intuitions? Or have you been suppressing them or not acting on them? This is a deep message to trust your inner knowledge. Maybe 10 people are telling you what you should or could do. Maybe they're wonderful suggestions, well thought out, but you have to go with what you deeply know to be true, or what you deeply feel is right. And very often, I know from experience, this means it goes against the logic or the people giving you the suggestions. For example, well, it's my own example, but sometimes when I go into the pharmacy, there's one person that works there that almost always prescribes me the wrong thing. And I almost always get a gut feeling like, you go in there and you're not feeling well, so you want to take their advice. But I've bought so many things that I didn't feel well with afterwards. And my gut feeling did know, that's not it. But you don't contradict, the pharmacist. This is just one example of like somebody who gives you good advice, or who's in a position of authority, or has studied something longer than you, but yet your gut is saying, nah. You've got to listen to your own gut. So for me, whenever I've done that and I've realized, no, this isn't the right thing, and I've stopped the medications or whatever, the over-the-counter stuff, and I've done what I thought I needed, or I got a different opinion from somebody that I did resonate with, that's when things got better. So you might be in a similar position, and you're going to have to go with what your gut says. All right, Scorpio, what's up for your eclipse? You've got the Queen of Discs, so you'll be dealing with this lady. It's not always a woman. It can be men. that are more fluid, let's say. But she's still, in a way, like the Queen of Pentacles still has a very, forceful, practical, businessy, managerial side. So that's the energy you're dealing with. Someone who might be wealthy or at least accomplished in her career. Someone with means, someone with cares a lot about her money and her reputation and material stuff. And it feels to me like this is someone you're going to be dealing with, whether it's friend, client, customer, boss. So what's that mean, an eclipse with a person? Well, sometimes there can be a flip-flop or a shift in that relationship. Because this lady's very material, there could be something that happens in her life that hits her with all that eclipse and Uranus stuff in Taurus. She might not be terribly happy. Maybe she'll get lucky and she'll make even more money, but she could lose some. So the feeling I'm getting for you is that this lady is around and she's a little bit grumpy. And you might just be shifting the nature of your relationship or how much you are with or around or helping them in one direction or the other. Sagittarius, what's up for your eclipse? Star. It's very nice. Most of these cards are good messages for everyone. So hopefully this eclipse is going to get us out of the winter slump. So the star is an awesome card to have. That's your hopes and dreams, your ideals, going after your dreams, thinking again outside the box and beyond. As you can see, she's got her cup that she's pouring down, but she's looking up towards this sort of the earth and opening a lid almost that reveals even more waves and stars. It's got this really huge galactic cosmic feeling, this card. So your dreams are probably matching that star. I would say for now with this eclipse, you can probably safely expand your vision. Dream big right now. It doesn't mean that all of what you dream is going to come into play, but there's an important process I find when you imagine and envision and dream, you have to think really big, because then you get in touch with if you're playing small, you'll never see every possibility. If you say, oh, I could do this, I could go big or go home here. Well, now what would you do if you can go big? That'll tell you more information about yourself than playing it safe. And it's not about whether the big dream happens. It's about the information about yourself you're going to get that brings you closer to the core of the vision that you really want. So yeah, make a map, make a vision board, draw it all out, brainstorm it, act as plan it as if there was no budget, and see what's coming up as the real dream. That's a nice reading there. All right, Capricorns, you've got the Hermit. So you might need to pull back and get some rest, or you might need to just withdraw a little bit and think things through in your mind, process things. Remember, we said like not to cocoon and cave and avoid, but giving yourself the right space in order to create something new, pulling back a little bit in order to create something new. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I have a feeling you're going to know what I mean. So anything you find, anything or anyone you find draining or distracting, you'll need to step back from so that you have headspace. And from there, you're going to figure out everything that you want to do next. All right, Aquarius. So your eclipse is just the change card. Well, I think you've been used to going through lots of flip-flops and ups and downs and changes by now. It seems nonstop for Aquarius. Things are always changing. There's always something happening with somebody, or you're changing where you're traveling, or where you're moving, or where you're living, or where you're working, or there's a lot of stuff going on here. Is there more coming with the eclipse? Yeah. Are you taking it in stride now because you're used to this wheel of endless changes? I think so. So it sort of just tells me to just take any new changes with a grain of salt and go, oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So we'll just lean a little bit this way with that thing that just happened. And, oh, this is changing now. I'll lean a little bit that way. But you're aware that life is always like moving and adapting and moving and adapting and just repositioning slightly. I think it's a pretty philosophical kind of eclipse for you. I feel you staying sort of detached behind the scenes, watching it play out. I don't really feel a dramatic, even though it could be squaring your sun. Typically, they would say, yeah, that could bring an event. It might if you're born in the early part of Aquarius, but it also might be happening in a way that you can just go, oh, okay, here we go. And you just respond in this very detached, things are always changing kind of philosophical manner. And if things do go down for you, that would be my suggestion of how to play it out. Just stay cool. Recognize, oh, this will change. Going to change again. And decide how you're going to interact with it. It doesn't have to be dramatic. And Pisces, finally, what is your... that's nice. So for you, Pisces, this is also like a manifesting, dreaming, visionary thing, but the Magician carries it one step further because the Magician has all the tools. The Magician's ready to make the business plan. The Magician's got the tools and the skills and has the studio and is ready to paint, in my analogy, So whatever you're wanting to do right now, I would say keep it within the scale of what you already have the skills for and go do it. So you might be adjusting your vision because the Magician has everything they need to start it. So if you're in a position where you're like, oh, well, I want to do this thing, but I'm missing X, Y, and Z, that's not the thing yet then. You need to look at the one where it's like, I have everything for that. So you either scale it down or you do a different one you've been wanting. But you go out there and you start to activate it. It's time. Don't stay in your head. It's time to start activating things with action. Wait, was this ever a big theme for this moon? So I'm going to sum it up. The theme I'm going to say for this eclipse is allow old stuff to come through. Allow yourself to process any old thoughts, wounds, or sense of blockages. Allow yourself and try to see your life with new eyes. See yourself in a new light. See your visions in a new way. And don't get stuck in the rabbit hole in your head and cocoon and avoid. Start to take action. Powerful this time. All right, if you want a reading from me, if you want to order my book, if you want to join my Sacred Vibes community, and if you like this video, please like and share, subscribe to Patreon. If you want me to do other celebrity astrology videos, let me know. I'm enjoying it. So if you're enjoying it, I'll do more. And if you're not enjoying it, then I'll stick to the moons. All right, but this was fun. I hope you all have a wonderful eclipse weekend, and I wish you all the best.